Call in, guys. Talk to me nice.
Welcome back to Sports Tea. Welcome back to Sports Tea.
Talk to me nice. Nice. Call in, guys. Talk to me nice. Call in, guys. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Look who we have in the building. It's Sports Tea and Man Down. We're back at it again to talk about the playoffs, and we are excited to be here. So salute to everybody who's joining the stream. As you guys come on into the room, do us all a favor, like the video, share the video, run over to Man Down Sports and subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Sports Tea if you haven't done so already, and let's get started. So we just had game 2 of Golden State Warriors versus Minnesota. Really interesting game again, right? It flip-flop. Now the series is tied. We have Draymond Green, menace to society, as you guys can see from the thumbnail. He's back at it again, just, wreaking havoc and daring the refs to eject him, right? So, Mel, what are your initial thoughts about this game? What were some of the things that you saw right off the bat as we, jump into the box score and team stats and things of that nature?
So we getting into the actual game first, and then the Draymond Green stuff later.
I think let's just break down the meats and potatoes of the game a little bit,
Okay.
right? And then we'll get into like the really good stuff.
Okay. All right. So I think Minnesota, they better be glad Steph is out because Ant Edwards hasn't found his groove yet. It took a while they got off to a good start in the beginning. McDaniels started off with a 3 and a alley-oop dunk, and Conley hit a 3, and they got out to like a 13-0 start. That was good. Then they went kind of cold, and if it wasn't for the Warriors not being able to find consistent scoring, the game probably would have been a little closer than that. And maybe Minnesota probably would have been in trouble because they was looking for Ant Edwards to help. Gobert couldn't find his hands. It didn't matter what ball they got thrown his way. He couldn't hold on to it and get up a good shot. It's just unreal how uncoordinated he is under the rim. Then I think he got hit in the head and got concussed. He might have a concussion. They might need to check on that. But then in the third and the fourth, I think Minnesota, Alexander Walker started hitting some shots. DiVincenzo hit some shots. Randall was solid the whole game, really. Edwards was trying to find his groove late. So maybe they have a real Minnesota game in game 3, but this wasn't the best they could play. They won this because Steph wasn't there. If Steph was there, they probably would have won. Warriors probably would have won.
I don't know if you agree with this statement, but do you think that it's fair to say that this playoffs in general, it feels like it's like a game of the others? The stars are not necessarily like taking over these games. It's not necessarily about what they're going to do. It's what all of their teammates are stepping up to do and who's going to be like the teammate of the night or the teammate of the game. What I'm noticing with the Timberwolves, it's always somebody else that is sort of being the hero.
Yeah, because the brand of basketball that the NBA is allowing them to play changed a little bit. Therefore, the way the player is supposed to get their points should change, because when it's free flowing and freedom of movement, the way they play high screen and roll, where you're either getting a layup or dish out for a 3, you can play that against that. But when you're playing against real physical defense and they're not calling ticky-tack fouls and all that stuff, trying to drive off a high screen and roll, play in and play out to get layups or dish out to a 3-point shooter is not how you play against physical defense. That's why the post game was so important in the 90s and early 2000s, because against physical defense, you got to go on the post if you want the ball to get in the paint. You're not going to be able to get straight line dribble drives against real physical defense that often without getting a lot of contact.
Pull up and shoot a 3.
Right, right, and that's such a horrible shot in the first place. That's why people like Steve Smith, Michael Jordan, Allen Houston, Ray Allen, Allen Iverson. That's why these dudes had those mid-range pull-ups in their game because you need it. You're not getting all the way to the rim. You have to stop and pull up.
You
You
have to.
have to have the mid-range, right? So SGA is not having an issue. He had 34 last night.
Well,
A lot of middies.
I can tell you why SGA is not having that mid-range shot.
A lot of middies. A lot of middies. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's not helping him get the shot in the rim though. And watching the game last night, he did it probably 0 times.
I don't know, Mel. I just think he's really just that good. He's very effortless at his push off. It's like we don't even see it anymore. It's just like a part of his body.
You think it's that significant?
I just know that it's a part of that what feels like an unguardable move for SGA. And I like to see it, you know. I just again it is illegal. And so I think when we go and we watch him in FIBA, that's why he plays like shit in FIBA. Because they're gonna call it.
We only seen
They're
him
gonna
in
call it.
FIBA one time. Jamal Murray played like the whole Canada played like crap in FIBA.
Because they can't do
SGA,
this.
Jamal Murray, Dylan, they all play
Just so
bad.
you know, so does Giannis. He gets fouled out in FIBA because you can't do what the FNB like what the NBA has the foreign players protected for in the NBA does not fly in FIBA.
Yeah. I mean, it's a worthy discussion, but I think where we part ways at on if it's significant or not. I don't know if it's that significant. You know, yeah, because you discredited SGA because of that push off. Like almost like, oh man, this is 99% of his offense. And I'm like,
I didn't discredit him because I still think he deserves the MVP. So I'm not taking anything away from him and what he's been able to accomplish and etc. I'm just saying that I think this is an illegal move and I'm not going to put him in the conversation with Kobe Bryant. I'm not going to do that.
well,
No.
you don't have to. I mean, even if he wasn't doing a push off, I wouldn't put him in the conversation with Kobe Bryant.
I thought I
But
heard you say something about how he works like Kobe Bryant, like he keeps himself in shape like Kobe Bryant did. You said something to that effect.
yeah, I mean, it's some similarities there. He does utilize the mid range game. He is a player that plays defense.
That sports bra is nothing like Kobe Bryant.
Well, Kobe Bryant wore a whole dress though.
When?
Look it
He
up.
did
He
not.
was in all white with makeup on his face. Look it up. I sent it to you. Don't worry about it. I sent it to you before the show's over with. But look, listen. The Warriors. First of all, it's over because they're saying Steph gonna miss a whole week. That's another 2 games at least.
Yeah. Jimmy Butler's not going to be. Jimmy Butler's not enough of a scorer, I think, to lift this Warriors team with a Draymond Green that's behaving this way and these G League players that they have alongside them. It's just not.
Yeah,
He can't. He doesn't have any Gabe Vincents on the team. Pajemski is not Gabe Vincent or Max Strus. Those players that he had on Miami, they were good.
Yeah, it's not enough.
See what Max Strus is doing right now?
Yeah, he's still a shooter. He's still solid. He's still solid, man. So, yeah. So this series, I mean, by the time Steph get back, this series might be 3-1. It might be 3-1. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be shocked if Minnesota lost another game because they don't look like Minnesota yet. For stretches, they did. The defense is there. I kudos for the defense. The defense is there, but the offense, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they know what they really want to do. But they might have found something because they were forced to sit down Gobert, and they played a lot better with Gobert on the bench. And I don't know if Gobert is that necessary to be on the floor for his shot blocking if the Warriors can't score.
And I think if the Warriors can't score, I know, like with Draymond Green on the floor, they can't score.
Yeah, the Warriors can't score, so it's okay to sit Gobert down, and then put more offense out there.
And in a sense, like, he could be a detriment. I mean, Draymond Green, he's after him. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if something else happens in this series.
It will. It will. But and I'm gonna tell you why. Now that he's got a tech for that smack, and he went off in the post game about the angry black man, and he got in the rest phase and dared them to throw him out of the game and get him a second tech. Now he knows I can get away with a whole lot more, because if I come back in game, what is it, 3, and I'm doing some borderline stuff, if y'all throw me out for it, it's really gonna make y'all look like y'all targeting me.
Right.
Right. So he's gonna tiptoe that line. He's probably not gonna cross it and smack somebody else, but he's gonna tiptoe that line so much that it's gonna make the refs make a decision. Do I want to throw him out and decide this game so Golden State can complain and say the reason why we lost is because y'all threw Draymond out and y'all targeting this black man, and it's gonna be a whole nother thing. So the refs, they're gonna be scared to throw him out unless he do something obvious. He's gonna be on level 10 in game 3. Desperate. Trust me.
I mean, look at Jonathan Kuminga. That should tell us that the Warriors couldn't score.
Man, he came out there and gave work for a minute. He was 100% from the field.
I'm just saying, but that's when you know that the Warriors are in deep duty. If he's the guy that's stepping up for you. Steve Kerr doesn't even really like to play him. So it's really interesting that, he's on the floor. He's their highest scorer. And, this could be his claim to fame. But if they lose this series, it's like, that won't matter, right? This isn't like, they're not going to celebrate him the way they do LeBron in a loss. But just when you take a look, like Golden State really, they made less 3-pointers than Minnesota.
Yeah, that's crazy.
9. They shot 32 of them, only made 9. They were 28% from behind the arc. They made 16 free throws, so 3 more than the Timberwolves. They got to the line 5 more times. They rebounded the ball marginally better. They assisted the ball so poorly. And to your point, they couldn't score. So they couldn't get any assists because they couldn't score the goddamn ball.
Correct.
And
they didn't have no energy either. They like them knowing Steph Curry gonna be gone for a couple of games or 3 games.
They were deflated. Yeah, and then Draymond, they know that Draymond's coming out trying to get ejected. He needs the night off too. He doesn't want, God forbid, if he has some leadership that doesn't involve this mind control of Steph Curry, right? God forbid he, steps up for the team and is responsible for his play on the court. It's just, to me, it's laughable that he would not try to make a game of it with Jimmy Butler on the floor. They could have done something.
You know what? I think he initially wanted to do what he needed to do with Jimmy Butler, but when he found out they couldn't hit no shots,
saw them going down 13-0. That was crazy. It looked like they were going to get blown out in the first quarter. I thought that it was going to be a blowout in the first quarter. I stopped watching the first quarter a little bit. Then I came back in the second quarter and I saw all this commotion, and it looked like the game had been stopped for quite some time. The physicality, I think, in the NBA this season, in the postseason, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Even just these little petty fights and things like that, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. And when we take a look at this Warriors box score, Draymond scored 9 points. He played 29 minutes, 3 of 10 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. So he's not going to continue to make shots. Like him hitting 3-point shots at random when he's dared to shoot and they just fall in. I think Minnesota, that's not going to last. I don't think he's going to come up big in their closeout game. If Steph Curry's not here in this series, they're done. Jimmy Butler's 17 points. He's not scoring in volume. They don't even have
he wasn't even looking for his shot that much though. That's the thing.
Their highest scorer was off the bench, Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah. Who did they start? They started Pod
They
Hill.
started post.
Oh yeah, That's five. Yeah, they started five post.
He started Pajemski. How are you
Yeah,
starting? You start Pajemski. You start Quentin Post. Who the hell is that? Why isn't Kaminga on the floor? Just start him.
same reason why Tatum went on the floor in the Olympics.
Hated.
He
It's
just,
just
what I mean,
he hated him.
I don't know
You
what
know,
it is.
Davis picked up 15 points for them off the bench. Their starters didn't deliver. He started Quentin Post, played him 3 minutes, fat zero. All just to not start Kaminga, just to be a jerk.
Yeah,
And then when we see, what the Timberwolves did, it's just, their box score. And again, Mel, to your point, it's like the Warriors played so poorly. It wasn't that the Timberwolves played so well.
yeah. I mean, I give them kudos to their defense. They did play decent defense, or
And their
either
bench.
maybe the Warriors just was missing shots, or a combination of both.
And
But the
their bench.
defense was there.
So we have to give
Um,
credit to their defense, and I think that ties back to Chris Finch. What do you think about the back and forth that Finch and Steve Kerr having about the physicality in the playoffs?
oh, they had a back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, like
What, in the post game?
they're trading like a war of words. Let me try to see if I can pull it up. But you wanted to just spend a moment chatting about the defense and maybe what the bench contributed?
Yeah, I mean, I think the defense is dope. No, I answered the question though, because I can imagine what they're saying. I heard what Chris Finch said. I didn't hear what Steve Kerr said, but I can imagine what he said. But I mean, Steve Kerr trying to do what Phil Jackson used to do, when people used to beat up on Shaq and try to mention it in the newspapers or at the post game, and hopefully that he get the calls that they want the next game, and most times they did. But here's the thing though, I don't like when Golden State have a guy like Draymond who's out there flagrant fouling people
Mhm.
and getting technical fouls, and then y'all come to the podium making an excuse on why it wasn't that bad, or why we should look at it the way we look at it, and all these things, but then turn around and cry for like regular fouls. Like, oh man, we getting played defense on physically, and they're touching us. We should get those fouls because Steph should have the freedom to run through all the screens that he wants to. On top of the fact, we should be able to have our big men set illegal moving screens. So you have an offense that sets illegal moving screens 4 to 5 times a play. Like all of your screens are moving and illegal, right? And then Draymond is a hack, right? And then y'all are fouling, but then you want to beg for little, or cry about the little contact that Steph Curry get. It's annoying to hear them dudes talk, man. Starting with Steve Kerr.
Man, I mean, so as you can see, this is just what Chris Finch is saying. So he says on defensive rebounding, the Warriors do a lot of fouling, holding, shoving, pushing, and tackling Rudy Gobert. That's clear. We sent a bunch of those clips to the league. In fact, I'm not sure I know another player in the league with Rudy's pedigree that is allowed to be physically beaten on the way that he is. And so we got to address that one way or another.
Yeah. He got a couple of pushing the back calls while he was going up for rebounds tonight. Some of the smaller guards pushed him in the back, and they called it. I think they called twice. So he got 2 of those calls. But yeah, but Finch is right, man. Like, this series, Rudy Gobert, he's getting the business a little bit. But I mean, I don't think it's that bad. I didn't notice it that bad, like Chris Finch is saying, but he definitely getting the business.
I mean, yeah, I guess he thinks that it's going, it's gone way too far. He said. He even continues. So, asked if Gobert needs to push opponents around the same way, and Finch says he did push. I mean, there was a play last night where Brandon Pajemski clearly grabs him, and then he sheds Pajemski, and then he gets the foul. So, I mean, we'll
Mhm.
certainly try to take justice into our own hands whenever we can. I think that's the nature of physical sport. But by the same token, my God, you should see some of these clips. They look like pulling guards and linemen out of there, just taking shots at Rudy. And,
Mhm.
uh, you know, uh, Steve Kerr, he responds and he said, I didn't see a single foul on any of those plays. And he laughs and he made it clear that he wouldn't argue with Finch. No, yeah, there's a lot of physicality in the lane for sure. And they definitely could have called a couple of those. He says, and then he says he has their own issues with physicality. And this is a league wide issue. I was upset the first 10 minutes of game one. It was just like Houston all over again. They were bear hugging Steph Curry and they could have called 6 fouls, but the league has established the physicality in the playoffs. To me, it's crazy out there what's happening. Everybody's fouling each other. I just feel like they have a really hard job because playoff basketball is, yes, it's physical and they're going to allow more, but I think they could have, oops, I lost my spot. I think they could have called a foul 6, 7 straight possessions with them guarding Steph. So I got my complaints too. Trust me. We all do. And this is how it works in the playoffs. We watch the tape, we see all the fouls on them that aren't called. They watch the tape, they see all the ones on us that weren't called. It's a physical game. It's just going to be. And both teams have to adjust. I'm getting ready to send my own clips into the league. And then it's not over. So he smiles and when he drops the line about sending the clips to the league, and he says, I mean, Jimmy Butler is posting up on Dante DiVincenzo, and Dante's fouling the crap out of Jimmy. He's just knocking him. And these are fouls. But again, can you call every one of them? No, but can you set a tone early and try to clean it up? Yes, I think that's the idea. And he continues and he talks about, he goes on to say, and he says, it's a really hard thing to control because everybody's playing so hard and they know what the other team is running. And if you call every foul, I mean, Ime Udoka said it in our Houston series, just keep fouling them. They can't call them all. And that's the old Pat Riley, Chuck Daly formula from the late 80s, early 90s. Just foul them every time. The refs can't call it. So this is playoff basketball.
And that's what Golden State does. And that's what they did to Houston in Game 7 as well. I just don't understand why Houston didn't get the memo.
For sure. I mean, Ime Udoka was saying that that's what they should do, and I mean,
Mhm.
Kerr, he says that for 8 playoff games, Curry hasn't had any freedom of movement. They've maybe called 4 or 5 calls in 8 games, and we're watching on tape. They're literally bear hugging Steph. That's a foul, but they're allowing it. He says that I'm sure Chris' complaints are warranted, just like mine are. Both teams are going to have a lot to complain about at the end of every playoff game. I don't know what the solution is other than what I just said. Can you call stuff early to set a tone and try to get both teams to understand where the line is? And that's the best that the officials can do because, like I said, you call every foul, it's a parade to the foul line. Nobody wants to watch that either. So they have a very difficult job. And I think Mel, this is where I would love for you to chime in because think about it, Mel. You've been saying this and you've been saying it. The NFL, they have, a script that they need to essentially go by, and not necessarily even just a script, but like a sort of like a flow of the entertainment, right? So they have a flow
Mhm.
for the entertainment, and what they want to do is make sure that we see a certain kind of basketball for part of the game. It's almost like we're watching 2 different games you were mentioning, and how,
Mhm.
at the end of the game, we want to see that fantastic finish. So we want it to get close, and they want to sort of call the game in a certain way so that we see these moments. Did you want to shed any light on that?
No, yeah, and it's not so much in this series, but in the Indiana, New York, the Indiana, Boston, and the New York, no, I'm sorry, New York, Boston, Indiana, Cleveland series. I'm saying that, no matter how big the league gets, when fourth quarter time comes, they're playing hockey or football or something out there. They're allowing everything, and then the momentum of the whistle actually goes with the momentum of the losing team. And somehow we get these fantastic finishes in both games. It comes down to the wire, man, and it's exciting for a lot of people, and people walking away saying, "Oh man, playoff basketball is lit this season." So mission accomplished. But I can see what they doing. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the teams is up by 20 and 15. Is up to you to figure. You got to figure out how to win them games, man. Like, so I'm not saying uh I'm not saying it's unfair. But I can't acknowledge that I see it.
Right. It's just, to me, it reminds me of, and I don't know if you remember the championship game for the New York Liberty and Minnesota, and how upset what's the coach's name? Cheryl Reeves was after the game, about just like even all the games, even throughout that series, they were complaining a lot about calls and how they just wanted the refs to be consistent, start one way and be consistent throughout the game. And I think that they started this sort of fantastic finish stuff. Like we saw this a lot this year, I think, in general, across all of basketball. They were doing this in the WNBA, sort of writing the script, creating these fantastic finishes at the end of games. And we're seeing it now play out in the NBA in the postseason as well. Anything else that you wanted to note? I know that post game, Draymond Green had, of course, he was going to be asked about his behavior in the game. And, I do have some film of what he actually did. Again, it just looks like, don't they all kind of look the same?
Yeah, I mean,
Like almost
listen,
every time.
the Draymond Green flop, the Jokic flop, and I can't remember it. I'm pretty sure some more, but those are the two that I can remember. Like you can see it. I don't know how the refs have fallen for, but Draymond Green's flop, every time he gets fouled and you get too close to him or too physical with him, his flop is to jump and well his arms and accidentally hit you.
Right. But it's so obvious because he like comes down and you're just like, sometimes he even makes a face. I'm like, bruh, you are insane. And literally a menace to society.
Man,
Like,
the clip,
like he must be stopped.
when he did it in game one, did he do it in game one or game 7 of Houston? It was one of them. Was it game one of this series or game 7 in Houston?
Game 7, and he did it he clotheslined Jalen Green. He did like the Nurkic, remember that like kind of clothesline.
So Doris Burke was calling that game, and I can't remember who. It might have been Mike Breen, but Doris Burke was calling that game, and she let him have it. She said, "I'm tired of it."
And he even tried, the other commenter, did you notice how he tried to move on? And she went right back. So like, as she was laying into Draymond Green about it, like she just continued. You know what I mean? She wasn't going to let the commentator gloss over this behavior. She was just so tired of it. And
I'm glad she said that too. I'm glad she said that. But
me too. And sometimes like certain messages sound better from certain people. And, I think she was one of those people that like they have a lot of respect for.
But Jokic and Draymond, they're using their flops as momentum killers or momentum builders. Like Draymond, think when he acts like that, he gets his team excited, and like
They don't
that's
it. I don't think they like it. I don't think they like
I
it.
I don't think Curry like it at all. But he responds to it though, and he's enabling it. He's not telling Draymond, "Hey, look, man, we don't need that." He's not scolding him about it. Like he'll say something to make it look good on camera, so people can be like, "Oh, Steph Curry's a leader," but he's not. He'll say something to him on camera, but if Draymond resists what he's saying, he's just done. And Kerr don't even give him eye contact. He rubs him on his belly and go sit down, rub him on his belly. Like, I'm pulling you out of the game, but please don't be mad at me. I'm rubbing you on your belly like a good little boy. When you walking past me, and go sit down and stuff like that. That's not the leadership is so afraid of Draymond Green.
It's just this dude, awful. Phil Jackson would have yanked his ass right out of the game. No problem. I feel like any coach from the 90s would have done that. Like, part of, I believe, Draymond's behavior is also like the star power idea. Like, he acts like a brat. Like, I am a star. I am allowed to act like this. I'm Draymond Green. I'm allowed to do this. It's not just that he's generally angry. Like, I've seen him just know who to do certain things to and with. That's how I view Draymond Green. To me, Draymond is a guy that, he'll do something like this, right? Completely punch out his teammate, completely divide his locker room, right? And then get slapped by a Kardashian. So he does all these things, but he's not that tough. This person is a Kardashian, and he got slapped by them in public. So
Man, that's
to
crazy.
me, this is somebody that knows what they're doing, but oftentimes, just chooses this awful
Yeah, I don't
behavior
like
that
it.
impacts his team. And I have the footage of the fight. Did you want to take a look?
Yeah, Leah, play that. And he want us to believe this is just a mistake. He reaches in
Just
like
disgusting.
what kind? Why is that a natural motion? They got no control. And I'm not saying you need control. It might be the wrong word. I ain't trying to say control, but they have no. I mean, they can't reel him in. Like, he's like, listen, Draymond has bullied his way into contracts. Like, when he told the story about when he felt like that he wasn't going to get his max extension, he drove to the owner's house and knocked on his freaking door and went in his living room, and they had a man-to-man. How the hell you comfortable telling that story on freaking on a podcast? You like, wait, your agent didn't talk to the GM. You drove straight to the owner's house as someone who's almost knocked out everybody. You almost killed Steve Kerr at halftime of a game. That story is out there. You can Google it, right? We seen what you did to Jordan Poole. Like you've ran up and down this daggone Golden State Warriors front office and roster, menacing everybody, and you show up at the owner's doorstep to discuss your contract that they didn't want to give you, and then you end up with the contract. Bro, you can't make this stuff up.
So I guess Draymond Green is a purse snatcher.
Bro, I don't know what Draymond Green, man, but whatever it is I couldn't deal with it.
I just want to know, how come all these clutch guys are fake tough guys?
I could have hit that dude.
I think you could beat Tristan Kardashian.
That's a big brother, man. That's a 6'11" dude, man. I wouldn't even try to fight Tristan Thompson.
Look at Draymond smiling before he gets knocked out. Look at him copping a plea. Come on, man. I thought we were friends.
Yeah, that's crazy. His post game though, he spoke about it though.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
Look like the angry black man. I'm not an angry black man. I'm a very successful, educated black man with a great family. And I'm great at basketball. I'm great at what I do. The agenda to try to keep making me look like an angry black man is crazy. I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous.
All right, so that was Draymond Green.
Did you hear that? Was it too low? Hold on, I'm gonna play it again.
Play it again.
Look like the angry black man. I'm not an angry black man. I'm a very successful, educated black man with a great family. And I'm great at basketball. I'm great at what I do. The agenda to try to keep making me look like an angry black man is crazy. I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous.
All right, so that was Draymond Green after the
Udonis
game. Usually he does these long press conferences, but that's all he said after the game. I'll give you a chance to respond to what he said there.
I agree with him. He is a very successful, educated black man, and he's a hell of a basketball player. But emotions are high right now. They lost the game. He probably didn't play the way he would like to. He got a technical foul that he didn't think he deserved. So he's a little frustrated right now. I'm gonna give him that. Yeah, I've been in that position before, so I understand his frustration. But what I will say is, we're not gonna judge Draymond Green the person, Draymond the person, because the Draymond the person is a very educated Black man who is successful and takes care of his family. So we're not gonna judge him as a person. But in that situation, he's frustrated with how the game went. High intensity playoff situation. He's been here before. Who knows how many more opportunities him and Steph is gonna get at this? I give him that.
Yeah, it's just one of those instances. They did lose the game. Yeah,
I can't
he knows they're going to ask about the.
I can't believe that they
technical
giving
and
him
so
a
on and so
cop out.
forth. He's frustrated, so he got it off his chest, and we kind of move on.
But he did slap the hell out of him. He slapped the hell out. He got.
I don't like the cop out, man. Gilbert Arenas and all these other players, they keep copping Draymond Green out. Oh my
And
God.
Udonis Haslem of all people, I thought he kept it real. I didn't know that he was so
Too close to the situation.
Too close to the situation, I guess. But sheesh, I mean, Draymond Green, he didn't play like he wanted to play. He played exactly how he wanted to play. This is exactly what he wanted to do so that he could have a night off, so that he wouldn't be responsible for his play on the court. He'd rather be responsible for getting ejected. He'd rather be called a hothead. He'd rather be known for that and be good at that than to have to actually answer, right, to the missed shots on the floor. Nobody's talking about his 1 for 6. Nobody's talking about his 9 points in 26 minutes. Nobody's talking about that he can't get to double figures, in lieu of Steph Curry being on the floor. His leadership, where was the leadership tonight? Right? So his leadership has to shine. That can't possibly be the discussion. We need to be sitting here talking about Draymond Green stepping up for the Warriors when when Steph Curry is not there. How does his leadership shine through and get the best play out of the other guards on the team, out of the backup guard? How are you getting him to work for you and the rest of the team, right? Like what went down with Jordan Poole. Draymond was taking credit for his leadership while Steph Curry wasn't there and his ability to play make for others. So that to me is what the issue is. He knows that he's not a strong enough offensive player or defensive player to carry the Warriors without Steph Curry on the floor, taking credit for his leadership through Steph Curry. He's leading through Steph Curry, supposedly. And I just think really manipulating, and I think stealing money, quite frankly. He's with Clutch Sports, and I think that Rich Paul has been able to elongate his career as well. That's just what I believe.
Yeah, this was the game he was supposed to come out, and him and Jimmy Butler was supposed to show some real leadership and be able to make this game competitive. But he didn't do that. And then he acted like a kid. So I expect it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a ticking time bomb, and sometimes I can predict when he's gonna act out like this. Like you can, like when their backs is against the wall and he's desperate, he always acts out like this. Always. He's gonna do it again next game. Trust me.
As long as Steph Curry's not playing in the series and there's some level of, okay, it's time for Draymond Green to step up. We need to see his game. When Steph Curry's on the floor, he's able to hide the things that Draymond Green can't do, like shoot from behind the arc, right? He's able to hide, quite a bit of his offensive deficiencies. So with that, he's shielded, he's protected because he gets to be this bully on the court. He gets to make a scene and sort of distract people with these antics. So even when Steph Curry's on the floor, he's still able to distract from the fact that he shot 0% from behind, from behind the arc. And this is just what it's more so about. And he's gotten it from Rich Paul and LeBron. He's got a front row seat to the biggest excuse makers in the world.
And who cares if he's educated or whatever he's saying? Like that has nothing to do with you keep smacking people, and we know that it's not you're flopping and hit and taking the opportunity to hit somebody. We know you're doing it. It's almost like when I don't know if you remember when Grayson Allen kept clipping people when he played for Duke. Like he had a problem with tripping people and kicking people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he had to go see, I don't know if you knew, he had to go see therapy for that. Like, because he couldn't figure out why he would always do it. It was like a knee-jerk reaction, right? You know what I mean? Somebody he'll fall, somebody steal the ball, and
he had a nervous tick.
Yeah, it was like a weird thing. Like, I guess getting pushed down or fouled or the ball stolen from him. He just, I don't know. He just resorted to tripping and stuff like that. He had to go get help.
I don't think that Draymond Green needs help. I don't think this is a nervous tick or some kind of psychological situation. I don't even think it's like, oh, this is in his nature to do. I think he strategically plans it, and that's what makes it to me more wrong. He's calculated, he's strategic about it. He knows who to
I
do
think
it
so too.
with. He specifically targets certain people on other teams to do these things to. And it's just, to me, it's this for me is just clutch 101. This is,
Yeah,
what it means to be part of Clutch Sports. You're able to manufacture, spread certain lies, deflection. This is deflection protection, Mel. So
yeah.
we're talking to him about his behavior on the floor, and then it's about him being an angry black man when 90% of the league is black. What are we really talking about right now? What are we talking? Black on black crime?
Yeah,
He's an angry, he's an
that's his
angry
way.
black
That's
man.
his way of circling the wagons and getting his hedge of protection to come out. That's his cry for, hey, come on, boys, come protect me in the media.
The same
They
thing,
they, they
though.
attacking the angry
Great
black man. Saying,
father. It's the same thing as great husband, great father, great philanthropist. Like, okay, you're criticizing me and I need to deflect to something else that has nothing to do with the cost of coffee in Jamaica.
yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's the old R. Kelly. They after a black man, so we all went and rallied after R. Kelly after we seen the tape. Like we seen him on the tape.
I didn't rally. Sorry.
A lot of
Don't
people
say
did.
it. Don't say it.
A lot of people rallied. Well, first of all, I didn't actually see the tape though, but you get my point.
That tape was absolutely disgusting. There was
That's
like
crazy.
in New York City, there was no way you couldn't see some portion or faction of the tape. Like they would just have it playing like on the sidewalk somewhere, like come buy
That's
this tape. Like
crazy.
they were literally bootlegging it all over the streets. It was awful.
Yeah, I was in the Navy in Great Lakes, learning how to be an electrician at school, and a lot of people in the barracks had that tape. I never got to see it. I was always going straight to school, and after school, I'd come straight back and go to the gym and play ball. Man, it was some good runs on that base, boy. Sheesh. Man, that was
Honestly,
some of my best. I love that base, man. We hooped every day, every single day. Yeah, but I wasn't hanging with the dudes that had that tape,
thank
but it was
goodness.
out there.
Thank goodness.
And look, we was in Chicago. We was in Great Lakes. So they had that tape. Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh, they had the tape and denying it that it was him. But, things have
He
a
said
funny way of coming out of the wash, right?
They said, yeah. They said it looked just like him. They said he went and he went and fixed the camera. It was crooked. Like I don't know if that's true though.
No. So I saw it.
He fixed the camera.
Oh my gosh, he was like playing around with the camera. Everything that happened in that tape, it was just awful. Just a complete disgrace.
And then he said it was his brother on the camera. Did it look like R. Kelly?
100%.
Dang.
When I tell you there was just no mistake. It was like 100% him.
That's crazy. And he got off because he made a song called "Heaven I Need a Heart." And
I thought it was Name of Love.
no, what was the other song he had made some type of gospel, man. And look, I fell for it, man. I was like, man, I felt when he made that gospel, I was like, man, that brother hurting. What was the gospel song he made?
Step in the Name of Love was
No, it was before. It was a gospel. It was a gospel. What was it? Sheesh. Man, he's a talented songwriter, man. But it was a gospel song he made that was cold. And then
he's illiterate.
I heard that. I heard that he can read music though. Or can he? I think he can play the piano.
Who knows? Some people are just like savants, but they don't actually know like the technicality of how to do that. So
yeah. Did you know he wrote that gospel for Whitney Houston? I Look to You.
I don't want to. Nippy is my girl. We're not going to sully her.
No, I'm saying he wrote the song.
I will not acknowledge that.
Oh, okay. Well, it was a good song.
Nope, Nippy's my fave. Well, we did get 2 super chats, Mel. Curtis T, $4.99. Salute to you, Curtis T. Glad to see the dynamic duo in action. Mel and Dom.
The diabolical duo.
Diabolical. I love
One
it.
of us diabolical. It ain't me.
You want to read the next one, Mel?
Why you always trying to get me to read the long ones? Get your bars up, media. I'm gonna go check that YouTube channel out, see what it's all about. Like it sounds like it's about rap. With Draymond, similar to Rush, I hate this. I hate when they say this. Steve Kerr said this at the post game. You know, he plays with so
That's
much
why I'm
passion
making you read it.
and yeah, I ain't even finished reading. Rush, you got to take the bad with the good. He definitely was ready to leave the game early. Yep, I agree. Suspension coming soon. Yeah, I think he got one more tech he can get, and he got 3 more flagrants he can. Oh, maybe it's flip. He got 2 more technicals and 3 more flagrants he can get before it's a suspension.
Yeah, when I was making the thumbnail, I thought of doing suspension loading.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I just thought, yeah.
I hate when they give him that excuse and say his passion is a double-edged sword. You know, the same passion he plays with has helped us, and you just gotta accept that it's gonna hurt you sometimes. No, you don't. You don't have to accept that. Like you just grow up, put your big boy pants on, and say, if I can't win a championship without Draymond Green, and I have Steph Curry, then Steph Curry ain't as great as I think he is. Like if you telling me that a guy that's detrimental to the team half the time, but half the time he's good for the team, and the decision whether I'm going to keep giving him max money is dependent on the fact that we're not, like Steve Kerr said, we're not a contender without Draymond Green. He said that in his contract year after they got put out the playoffs by whoever, I can't even remember. We're not a championship team without Draymond Green. What about Steph Curry? You mean to tell me we're not a championship team without Draymond? That's an indictment on Steve Kerr and Steph Curry.
Absolute indictment. I couldn't agree with you more on that, Mel. Do you want to open the phone lines?
Let's do it.
Alrighty. Oh, it looks like we got another super chat that came through. You read that one, Mel.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I refuse to call you T baby. Yeah. Mel, you and T baby. You and T baby are a dynamic duo on the pod. T baby, Lord have mercy. All right, cool. Well, if y'all like it, I guess we'll keep doing it.
Oh, I love it. Okay, guys. What do you think? Like, if Draymond is suspended, can Golden State still win the series? So they would be down Steph Curry and Draymond Green. What do you think, Mel? Can they win without Draymond and all of his offensive prowess?
If they had Steph, they could. If Steph was healthy, if Steph was okay, so if you lose Draymond now, like right now, like if you have a team that is built around Steph and what Steph do, and Draymond is part of that, then obviously if you lose him now, you lose a big important piece. But if you lose him in the summer and you got an opportunity to find a different way to replace him, or a different way to play without him, or a player that's similar to him, like if you got an opportunity to replace him, I think you can, and I think you still could win games. Right. So I disagree with Steve Kerr that it's over if we lose Draymond. That's how he made it seem like, oh, if Draymond is gone, this championship run is over. Right. I don't agree with that.
Hey, Funky Town. Thanks for calling Sports Tea and Man Down. Talk to us nice.
Hey, good evening. Great to see y'all. Yeah, I wrote it down on my bingo card, and damn it, Donkey didn't get kicked out because I had it right there in the middle, smack in the middle. This fool gonna get fouled out because Curry ain't playing.
Mm-hmm.
And he messed around and tried his best, built like the little engine he could, and didn't get kicked out. They should have ran him so quick.
Do you think they stand a chance?
Then they
if
have
he
to
gets
be listening
suspended?
to the people. Oh well, they're just picking on him. That dude did a Hong Kong Phooey in the middle of the air and then matrix and move his arm the opposite direction, hit the man in the face.
Why do you
Come
think
on
they're
now.
making so many excuses for him? Why do you think
Say again?
why do you think the talking heads in the media are making excuses for Draymond?
Well, personally, I think it's because they try to do that, players fraternity stuff, and they don't want to they don't want to call people out like regular people will, and they got like the unwritten rule, you don't want to down your brother and stuff like that. But see, my thing is, you just saw this man hit another brother in the face, all right, unprovoked. Like I could understand if he had done something to him. I could almost understand that. But he was just trying to get kicked out. Because we said this for a while. All you got to do is watch what happens when Steph ain't there, or when he's out there by himself and got to be the leader. When they had all the injuries that year, how many times did he get kicked out of the game? When I don't think they even made the playoffs that year. Remember,
Yeah.
Serge correct.
Hey, Funky Town.
He is. What's up, brother?
So the players that the former players that's in media, the ones that protect Draymond fall into a couple of categories. One is players like Kenyon Martin and Udonis Haslem who feel like they are themselves enforcers, and the stuff that Draymond Green does is stuff that they wish they could have got away with. Like Martin and Haslem were both really good physical players, but they didn't do this nonsense.
They were real about it.
Yeah, but they didn't do this nonsense like this, right? Right. But I think they adore it. Like they living vicariously through him. Like, dang, I wish I could have smacked a couple of brothers in the head like that. So they were protected because they are part of that enforcer fraternity, right? And then the rest of the guys like Vince Carter or Grant Hill or who will play or Gilbert Arenas, there. Well, I ain't gonna say Gilbert Arenas. Vince Carter, he's just a player that's afraid to go against the grain because it's so many people going with Draymond. Vince Carter's not the type of dude that's going to go against the grain and be like, "Oh hell nah, no, that's trash."
It's that fraternity
He's
stuff.
not going to do it. Or you fall in the category where you too close to the situation like Gilbert Arenas, and you just go in and protect them and enable them because you're close to them as a person, friend, teammate, whatever the case may be. Right.
That's
So
exactly where I was going with it though, Mel. Like I asked that question because I think that Udonis Haslem and some of these guys in the media, they actually just have a sweet spot for Draymond Green because of what he does. Because they were probably part of that sort of like enforcer community. They did dirty plays. Could they have gotten away with these things? Maybe, maybe not. But they're, like you said, just they're living through them. They're no longer playing, but they consider themselves to be like, this is who they are, too.
And what pisses me off, we gotta leave it to Doris Burke to have more balls than the players to call it out for what it really is. Doris Burke, the only one who's saying it for real, and all these other players is, oh man, I'm not gonna go against Draymond on national TV and mess a brother up because he's pulled them into, man, they after a brother. And man, it's insane, man. I hope more people like Doris Burke speak against it.
Me too.
I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me? I can't hear you.
We can hear you, Funky.
I was saying Rashad Wallace is the one who should be upset because I saw him get run for literally looking at a ref.
Oh, Rasheed Wallace, for sure.
Doubled up. Rasheed Wallace, he got doubled up for just one saying something and the next looking.
You know what it
is? That's because David Stern had made it. So it was an issue with referees getting intimidated by players in the early 2000s. And David Stern fixed that, and it was like, even if you look at a ref, you're getting attacked.
Yeah, so there was like literal intimidation by players toward referees. They would see them out post game. They would see them in the city. They would see them at a bar. But even more than that, like Rasheed Wallace was actually scary though. There's a difference. Like Rasheed Wallace was really like that. Draymond Green is not, but Draymond Green is not. And so that's why I think like
But
there are
he also
players
told the
though.
truth.
Hold on though. There are
Which-
players there one moment. So there are players though in the league that these referees, they might tee them up, but they don't find them anything truly intimidating about them. Back then, these guys were really like that. And I think that that's the difference between like a Rasheed Wallace and someone like Draymond Green. But in the media, they try to band together. And I think that those guys really believe in the fraternity of this league, whereas today's players, you're not going to give them that same respect anyway. So I don't know why they show that loyalty. I guess it's kind of like, okay, well, just because they're doing it doesn't mean that I'm going to participate, but I just wish they would call it at least like they see it. Don't just cover it up. Don't gloss over it, because this is not basketball.
No, I mean, but that's part of the whole way the way the culture's gone this whole time is that it I mean, you look at Anthony Edwards. People were anointing him as the next one and all this, that, and the other. And I get upset to even hear the comparison between him and Jordan, because I'm like, I mean, he's not the only one, but like I think one of y'all said, the Wolves should be happy they're playing against Stephen Curry-less Warriors team right now, because anybody else in this playoffs right now would expose them. Anybody else in the playoffs would expose them because you can't keep shooting threes at that level and have your star player not recognizing that you got somebody you should be able to blow past at least two players if you're gonna be that guy, or at least one. But if you're giving up, if you're just going for the three every time, and then you got, I mean, Rudy Gobert, that dude has Mason's hands. He cannot hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
And you're telling me, like, I mean, I'm like, hold on, bro. You got a size advantage on everybody on that court, and you literally can't mistake into making a layup. To me, they're real lucky right now who they're playing, because I think they play anybody else. Matter of fact, if they play a lot of teams that get left in the first round, they'd be in trouble right now.
Well, let me ask this, and just lastly, before we move on to another call, Funky Town, if Draymond's suspended, can Golden State win the series?
I can't hear you, John. Can you speak up a little bit? What'd you say?
If Draymond Green is suspended, can they win the series?
Oh no, I mean, but they're not going to do that anyway, unless the refs decide it. I mean, no, unless the NBA, they got a call come back from the NBA saying, execute Order 66. They're losing.
Yeah, no,
they don't have enough.
Just so you know, it's a joke of a question.
I know.
Draymond Green is not going to make or break the series for the Warriors, but
he ain't making a difference.
But thank you so much for calling in, Funky Town. I really appreciate you.
All right, y'all have a great one.
All righty.
All right. Yep.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
All right, one more call, Mel. You
Yes,
feel up
ma'am.
good? All right, guys, call in. Talk to us nice.
Daggone Draymond.
I know, right?
What you think will happen when they go back to San Francisco for Game 3?
I think that the Timberwolves are a good road team, so they're going to perhaps beat them twice back to back at home. So,
hello.
Thank you for calling Sports Tea. Talk to us nice.
It's Sabrina again.
Hey, Sabrina. How's it going, girl? So, here's the question. Here's the question that Mel and I need for you to answer, okay? And you're going to be our last and final call for the evening. So, here's the question. Can the Warriors win this series if Draymond Green gets suspended?
No, I don't think so. He just ruined everything going on in the locker room. And I'm hearing you on a delay, and my TV is on mute, just like last night.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I owe you an apology, Mel. I called you on the show. We were talking about how dirty LeBron is, and then you told me Draymond is as bad as LaForty, and I said no, he's not. I owe you an apology. He's pathetic. Draymond Green, he's trying to get kicked out. I believe he's under LaForty's. He's paying him to muck this up for Steph. Make sure he don't get another ring.
Sheesh.
I believe that. I've been saying that for years. They actually should have gotten Pascal like 4 years ago when he got traded, the last trade,
Mm-hmm.
and gotten rid of Draymond. First of all, they should have got rid of him instead of Kevin Durant. And when he punched Poole, that should have been the last straw, the absolute last straw. Because he's nobody without being on Steph's team. So nobody care about Draymond.
That's true.
He is a buffoon, and he is doing this on purpose. He's trying to
Draymond
get
Green.
kicked out.
I agree with you, Sabrina. I think he's doing it on purpose. I think he believes he's entitled to nights off. If Steph Curry has a night off, I think he can't be held accountable to his play on the court if Steph Curry's not playing, because it needs to fall on Steph.
Don't worry, if they lose this series in less than 7 games, boy, Jimmy Butler is going to be livid because he wants to win. He ain't got time for all this
foolishness. He does want to
foolishness.
win, but does he really? Does Jimmy Butler really
He
need
holds
to
people
win?
accountable.
He wanted look, more than anything, Butler wanted that contract extension. More than anything. Because if he really wanted to win, he wouldn't beg to leave Miami. He would have took what Pat Riley was gonna pay him and let Pat Riley bring Giannis or whoever he was gonna bring to help him out. You know what I mean? But what was more important was that contract extension.
Exactly.
Yeah, because he deserved it. He gave him his blood, sweat, and he got injuries while he was over there as well. And if you don't respect a player that does so much for your franchise via contract, I would want to leave too. Draymond Green really destroyed Curry's career. He did. Point blank. He should have had at least 6 rings. They should have had an opportunity for a 3-peat. He got jealous with Kevin Durant because he was pushed to the side. It was Curry, Clay, Durant, and he was pushed to the side. That's why he got rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
And the franchise is at fault for this whole shenanigans. They should have got rid of him. He's not that important. And Steph is at fault too because he's not an alpha male, and he should have fought for Clay to retire a Golden State Warrior and gotten rid of Draymond. I don't know why he can't see that Draymond ruins his legacy.
Yeah, I mean, but like they always say, the help that he's provided, I guess they're able to overlook the hurt.
Like I said, they had opportunities. They had people that could have helped them in the same situation and actually been a scorer.
Yeah,
now you got
two
guys on the bench that can't score a bucket. That means Looney too.
I mean, there was rumors that when Ben Simmons was in Philly before he got hurt, before he had psychological issues, there was rumors that it was going to be a Ben Simmons for Draymond trade. And Ben Simmons could have done everything Draymond did. He could have guarded four to five positions. He could have ran point forward. He could have been the guy not taking no threes and not taking no shots and passing everything to Steph and Clay. He could have done all this, but at the same time, he was a high flyer. He could jump out the gym, and he could score. Yeah, he would have been better for them with Draymond, in my opinion. He would have been better for Golden State than Draymond.
Pascal would have been a find. They should have got rid of Draymond Green. This is the franchise's fault, and Stephen Curry's legacy is actually ruined because of this man. I don't even want to call my man because now his son is watching his father act a fool.
When
and all kind of nonsense.
Sabrina, when should they have gotten rid of him?
I believe they should have got rid of him. They should have chose Kevin Durant over him.
I agree 100%. As soon as Kevin Durant was in that contract season and him and Draymond Green had that blowout, the first thing I would have done as the GM of the Golden State Warriors is pulled Kevin Durant in the office and said, I know you're thinking about what you're going to do this summer. We're going to give you whatever you want for your contract, and Draymond's going to be out of here.
Yeah. They would have been a true dynasty they would have kept Kevin Durant.
Facts.
He comes with no problems. I mean, he just want to play
could have replaced
basketball.
Draymond with Jake
He
Flapper.
don't want to be the leader of no team. He just want to play basketball, and he had a good chemistry with
Yeah.
with
You look, you didn't even have to get a free agent to replace Draymond. You could have just moved Iguodala in the starting lineup, made him play power forward.
Honestly,
Exactly.
I literally, Mel, I was just about to say they could have replaced Draymond with nobody.
It's just sad.
There's a lot of money.
They did some very wrong
What do
moves
people
throughout.
always say? Addition by subtraction, right? Sometimes just when you remove a problem, everything gets better, right? It's just kind of like, you know, an old lover when they leave your life and they don't come back. As soon as they're gone, everything is just like better for you. Everything starts coming together when maybe you got rid of that toxic job or that toxic boyfriend and you just, you know, everything's opening up, new opportunities. I just feel like that's what would have happened for the Warriors had they gotten rid of Draymond Green and his toxicity.
Yeah, but they sunk themselves. I believe that's why. What's the last GM? I think that's why he left. He knew this shit was gonna hit the fan when they decided to fight for Draymond Green.
Yep. And to keep Draymond Green there, they had to get rid of KD. They had to get rid of Jonathan Wiseman. They had to eventually get rid of Klay Thompson. They had to get rid of Iguodala. I mean, like, to keep Draymond Green, there's a lot of people that had to get sent. Pat Kuminga, they about to lose Kuminga this season. He's gone this summer.
Yep.
Well, he's not doing as well as he should have been, and I hate to say it, but they kept Wiseman too long. Wiseman was playing like he was playing street ball, just running up and down from one end of the court to the other. Don't know how to set a pick. Nothing. They kept him way too long.
I mean, he was he was an 18-year-old rookie when they drafted him, and he only played like 6 games at Memphis. So I mean, they drafted him number 1 as an 18, 19-year-old.
Years. I know Iguodala was trying to work with him. He just wasn't getting, how to set a pick.
I don't know. So this is what I remember.
He said
hold on. I remember them drafting him, and I remember Steph Curry getting hurt maybe game 1 or 2 of the season. And then I remember, because I think Steph Curry fell and hurt his hand. He broke his hand. Klay Thompson was already gone from the Achilles because he tore his ACL in the finals, and then the next season he tore his Achilles. So Klay and Steph was gone. They had just got D'Angelo Russell. Draymond faked the injury and got gone, and then Wiseman was out there playing with 2 other rookies. I can't remember. One of them was from Villanova. What was the power forward name? Dominque, Pascal. Yeah, Pascal, and maybe it was another guy. But Wiseman was out there looking really good as a rookie, really good. And he was scoring and he was doing his thing as a rookie. And then the next year when Steph and Klay and Draymond came back, they wanted him to play like Kevon Looney and just rebound and hit and not score. Just rebound and look for Steph. That's what he wasn't getting. That's why Steve Kerr benched him just like he benched Tatum in the Olympics and just like he's benching Kuminga. He benched him because he didn't submit to the system of just find Steph and Klay. He wanted to score too because he got ability. And that's why they dropped him down to the G League after he had a great year as a rookie. They ruined his career because he wouldn't get with the program.
I know that.
I know.
He was running up and down the court
but
and not knowing how to set a pick and didn't know where to be on the court. I was like, what is he playing street ball? Come on, I play better than that playing street ball.
Let me ask you this: Do you think Podziemski or Quentin Post played better than Wiseman? I mean, because Quentin Post gets a lot of minutes. The only thing, Steve Kerr plays who fits well with the system of just let Steph do everything and set screens for him. That's why Draymond don't shoot. They want everyone to play like Kevon Looney or Draymond, where they're just rebounding, defending, and setting screens for Steph. That's their offense. If you want to score,
that's why they have so much difficulty, because you got 2 guys on the court that can't score. So now you're putting all the onus on the other 3 guys.
Yeah, that's their offense.
And they get into the shooting slump and just forget about it. This game, I stopped watching it after the half. I was done because I want to know why Steve Kerr called the timeout and took all the starters out. 8 minutes into the game, I'm like, what the hell is this man doing?
Well, I can tell you why Steve Kerr makes these decisions. He's got dementia, Sabrina. But I just want to thank you for calling in. It's about that time for me and Mel. I know it's time. It's past my bedtime.
All right, I'm now make my business not to call on Friday. I'm just gonna listen and send my texts.
No, you call on in. We love when you. First of all, I think you're one of our favorite callers. So you need to call in. You need to call in. I love when you call in and say La 40, La Bum, La Flop. So please call
La
in.
Flop, La Queen.
Yes.
Oh, don't forget La Queen.
That's my fave. So I'll text you tomorrow. I'll text you tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
All righty.
Okay, you guys. Y'all have a pleasant evening. Get some rest. I can't wait tomorrow night.
Y'all cheated us on them likes.
They cheated.
I did all of that.
They cheated us on that. We both at about 55.
Oh, that's crazy.
So, y'all get us up to 100 likes, man. Just hit the like button. It's that simple. Just grab it. You're looking at it from your phone. Just hit like. How many people watching from on
Next time
TV?
I got some jewels. Once y'all start ragging on, La Bum. The next time I got some jewels for you guys to make y'all laugh.
Yes, I got you tomorrow, Sabrina. I'll see you.
Yeah.
Have a good
sometimes
night.
I send texts, and the people that's reading the texts piss me off when I had that Wolves in 5. Somebody took my text and revamped it, and I saw it on 93 Zane. I was like, these mofos.
No, I don't do
Come
any
on.
I don't do any of that stuff. I got your back, okay? Thank you so much for calling in, though. You have a good night, Sabrina.
You too. You
Alrighty.
too. You
Thanks
too,
for
Mel.
talking to us nice.
All right, Sabrina.
Okay.
No doubt.
Okay.
Alrighty. So I feel like we had a really good stream tonight, Mel. Did they really cheated us tonight?
Yeah, they cheated us on the likes.
Even my little teacups?
I mean, well, they got you at 58.
Sheesh.
They got you at 58 likes.
Dang.
They got me at 69 likes.
Sheesh. Cheated.
You should at the very least you should have 75 likes right now, and at the very least I should have maybe 85 likes. I settle for 85, but I want 100.
I know you guys can do it. Smash the like button for us. Share the video, like the video, spread the word.
Okay, let me see that where they got you at right now. Now my phone want to move slow. Okay. Yeah, they playing. They got you at 60. I mean, I guess 60 out of 77 ain't bad. That's really good though.
That's not that bad. I appreciate our audience and the people that joined us. I know that we started a little bit late tonight, but we'll be coming back hot with some more playoff content. So be on the lookout. Catch Mel over there on Man Down. What's so funny, Mel?
Somebody in the comments said, "Don't turn into Marvin Sapp on us." Did you know Marvin Sapp locked his church in his congregation in the church? He said lock the door
until they donated, right?
Until they donated,
yeah. No. Don't worry, guys. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. You guys show up and you show up for us every night, and we really appreciate you guys. The engagement, the likes, the shares, the comments, the calls. So we know it takes a lot of courage to call us up and share your takes. So thanks so much. We appreciate you all, and we hope you have a great night.
Oh, but hold on before you go.
Yeah.
Really quick, don't take long. Who you taking? The 100 men or the gorilla?
The gorilla.
All right, there you go. 100 men can't even beat a chimp, so more or less a gorilla. We don't stand a chance. All right.
What did they say? What is it? Shannon Sharp, LeBron's hairline. What is it?
Oh, what did he say? He said LeBron's hairline, Luka's waistline, and Austin Reeves' stat line.
Wolves
in
in 5. Oh, I think I got the Wolves winning this series. What about you?
I got the Wolves, man.
Yeah.
I just don't see how Steph can miss so much time and they survive.
Yeah.
And
I think I
that
might
spirit
have
is
them
built
going
into
to the WCF.
Yeah. It's gonna be Wolves versus OKC probably. It could be Wolves Denver, who knows? But
It
I'm
could
thinking
be.
Wolves OKC, and I'm thinking uh I'm thinking Knicks Pacers or Celtics Pacers. I don't think Cleveland getting
Unknown caller.
Yeah, Cleveland not getting out of this hole, but the Celtics they probably can. But it's either gonna be Knicks Pacers, Celtics Pacers in the conference finals, and Wolves, and OKC Thunder.
This is gonna be an incredible time. What a time to be alive.
I know. Now if it end up being Denver and Warriors, yeah, I ain't watching that game. I'm not watching it. I'm skipping the whole series.
I mean, we already know what's gonna happen.
Draymond don't never choke nobody on Denver though. He never fights nobody on Denver.
Well, he knows better. I'm telling you, he knows who he can do it with. Aaron Gordon is like that. Russell Westbrook is like that.
I don't even think it's because they like that. I think it's because Jokic and Denver is a protected entity in the WNBA. You're not gonna be able to get away with that with Jokic. I mean, look at the Morris twin when he did it to Jokic, and Jokic came and almost broke his spine. Jokic got a little suspension, but he didn't get no bad press.
The brothers were like trolling him. Remember that? That was mad funny. I'm not gonna lie. Jokic is like that.
Everybody was on Jokic's side too. He didn't get no bad press for that.
I was on his side. I was on his side, and not just. I was on his side because of the way the brothers came and had his back too.
I like that.
Little baby push.
So can you imagine if Draymond would have choked Jokic the way he choked Gobert? The entire NBA community.
I don't think that he could choke Jokic. Draymond's not.
Even if he did, he knows he can't get away with it with Jokic.
But did you even see what Draymond did to Rudy Gobert? He choked him from behind.
Facts.
He didn't even it wasn't like it was dead on. And I'm not saying that Rudy Gobert is the toughest guy and blah, 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 but Draymond Green, he's not like that.
No, I don't think, no, he definitely picked the right one, but it's based on he knows that person's not going to fight him back, number one. And number two.
How can you fight back when you're from behind getting dragged?
Right. But number two is also he knows that he got people in the media that could explain this away for him, and this person is not going to get any protection. Nobody was on Gobert's side. Nobody was on Gobert. Gilbert Arenas, all them dudes went in there was like, what y'all expecting him to do? He was grabbing the Klay Thompson, and then when he stomped Sabonis on his chest, what do you expect him to do? He was grabbing his ankle.
That was so ugly. Oh my God.
You get what I'm saying? Like everything he does, they come in and explain what you expect him to do. He was grabbing, he was doing this, he was doing that. He wouldn't, the NBA world would not have any excuses for Draymond if he did something to Jokic or somebody on that Denver Nuggets team. They never do it. But all right, T baby.
All right, Mel Senior.
All right, man. Peace.
All right. Have a good night, guys.